What if I told you that some of the foods you eat every day, foods you think are healthy or harmless, could actually be speeding up aging, harming your heart, and clouding your brain? And even worse, they might be quietly stealing your energy and vitality without you noticing. If you're over 60, or even approaching that age, this is something you absolutely need to hear. As we get older, something surprising happens inside our bodies. Systems that used to run smoothly, digestion, circulation, even memory, start to slow down. The foods we used to enjoy without a second thought in our 30s or 40s may no longer treat us the same way after 60. In fact, some of those familiar favorites could now be doing more harm than good. Imagine this. You've worked hard all your life, raised a family, and now it's your time to enjoy life. You deserve to feel strong, energetic, and mentally sharp every day. But what if certain foods you're still eating, without realizing it, are secretly draining your energy, accelerating aging, and putting your health at risk? Many people over 60 continue eating the same way they always have, not knowing that the body's ability to process certain ingredients has changed. Our metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain weight and harder to burn fat. Our arteries become more vulnerable to buildup. Our joints may become inflamed more easily, and our brains may not respond as quickly to sugar spikes or sodium overloads. Doctors and nutritionists have been sounding the alarm for years. Certain everyday foods, even the ones that seem harmless or comforting, can quietly damage our bodies over time. The worst part? These foods are everywhere. In our grocery stores, in our refrigerators, and even in meals we think are healthy or light. Here's the truth: aging is natural, but premature aging caused by diet is something we can prevent. Every bite we take either feeds our body or fuels inflammation. Especially after age 60, inflammation becomes the silent enemy, worsening arthritis, fogging up our memory, triggering fatigue, and increasing our risk of heart disease or stroke. But it doesn't stop there. As we grow older, our digestive systems produce fewer enzymes, which means we don't break down food as effectively. That can lead to bloating, constipation, and poor nutrient absorption. On top of that, our blood sugar becomes harder to control, which means sugary foods can send us on energy roller coasters that leave us feeling drained and moody. And let's not forget cholesterol and blood pressure, two issues that tend to creep up with age and are directly affected by what's on our plate. Now, you might be thinking, I don't eat junk food every day, or I try to eat in moderation. And that's great. But here's the problem: even moderate amounts of the wrong foods can build up damage over time, especially if you're eating them regularly without realizing their long-term effects. For example, something as common as a slice of white toast in the morning, a few slices of deli meat for lunch, or a soda in the afternoon can seem innocent. But for someone over 60, those simple choices could be setting the stage for serious health problems over the next few years. Let's talk numbers. Studies show that over 70% of people over 60 have some level of inflammation in the body. Many also deal with high blood pressure, borderline blood sugar, or cholesterol concerns. These aren't just random events. They're often connected to what we eat every day. And what makes this issue even more dangerous is how subtle it is. These foods don't make you sick right away. You might feel a little tired, have trouble sleeping, experience occasional brain fog, or notice your joints hurting a bit more, but nothing that screams, food is the problem. And so, we go on eating the same things, not realizing they're slowly taking a toll. The good news is, once you know which foods are quietly working against you, you can make simple, smart changes. No need for extreme diets or giving up everything you love. Just a few small adjustments can help reduce inflammation, boost energy, and support your body's natural aging process. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling clearer, more focused, and lighter. Imagine enjoying activities you love, walking, gardening, playing with grandkids, without the nagging fatigue or stiffness that's been creeping in. All of that is possible, and it starts with understanding the foods that may be holding you back. In this video, we're going to expose 5 of the worst foods for people over 60, foods that doctors and nutritionists agree should be avoided or replaced with healthier options. You'll learn why they're harmful, what they do to your body, and most importantly, what you can eat instead. Whether you're already eating healthy or just getting started, This information will help you make confident choices that support long-term health, strength, and clarity, no matter your age. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and stick around, because what you learn in the next few minutes could add years to your life and life to your years. Food number 1, processed meats. Examples: bacon, sausages, deli slices, hot dogs, ham. Let's begin with one of the most common, but most harmful, foods for people over 60, processed meats. Bacon in the morning, a ham sandwich at lunch, a couple of hot dogs during a family cookout. These foods are staples in many American and Canadian households. They're convenient, they taste good, and they bring back memories of comfort and tradition. But behind the taste and convenience lies a serious danger, especially for older adults. Processed meats are meats that have been preserved through smoking, curing, salting, or chemical additives. That means they're not just meat. They're meat combined with substances designed to enhance flavor, extend shelf life, and improve appearance. And that's where the trouble begins. When you eat processed meats, you're not just consuming protein. You're also ingesting a cocktail of sodium, nitrates, nitrites, and preservatives that can have a toxic effect on the body over time. Let's break this down. High sodium equals high blood pressure risk. People over 60 are especially sensitive to salt. And processed meats are loaded with sodium, sometimes hundreds of milligrams per slice. That excess sodium puts pressure on your arteries, forces your heart to work harder, and contributes to the development of hypertension or high blood pressure. In fact, high blood pressure is often called the silent killer, because it usually has no symptoms until it leads to something much worse, like a stroke, heart attack, or kidney damage. Nitrates and nitrites equals inflammation and cancer risk. To keep meat looking fresh and appealing, manufacturers often add nitrates and nitrites, chemical preservatives that prevent spoilage and bacterial growth. But when these substances are heated or digested, they can convert into nitrosamines, compounds that have been strongly linked to cancer, particularly colon, stomach, and pancreatic cancer. The World Health Organization, WHO, has even classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as tobacco. That doesn't mean eating bacon is exactly like smoking a cigarette, but it does mean that regular consumption can significantly raise your cancer risk over time. Promotes chronic inflammation. Another danger is inflammation. Many seniors already struggle with joint pain, stiffness, arthritis, or general fatigue. Processed meats are known to trigger and worsen inflammation, making those problems even more severe. That means your morning sausage or afternoon sandwich could be quietly making your knees ache, your fingers swell, or your energy disappear day after day. Impact on brain and cognitive health. What many people don't realize is that what we eat also affects our brains. Processed meats are high in saturated fats and chemical compounds that can impair blood flow to the brain, leading to memory problems, mood swings, and even increased risk of dementia in the long term. Multiple studies have found that diets high in processed meats are associated with faster cognitive decline in older adults. The very foods we once thought were harmless are now being linked to forgetting names, losing focus, and reduced brain performance. What to eat instead? You don't have to give up meat altogether, but it's important to choose better sources of protein. Here are some healthier alternatives. Fresh, lean poultry like grilled chicken or turkey breast without skin. Fish such as salmon, sardines, or mackerel, rich in omega-3s for heart and brain health. Eggs in moderation, preferably boiled or poached. Plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, tofu, or tempeh. In nuts and seeds, which offer healthy fats and protein without harmful additives. If you still crave the taste of deli meats, look for low-sodium, nitrate-free options in health food stores or prepare your own sliced chicken or turkey at home. Final thought on processed meats. The occasional slice of bacon won't destroy your health, but the daily habit of eating processed meats, even in small amounts, can slowly chip away at your well-being. After 60, every food choice matters a little more. Your body is more sensitive, but also more responsive to positive changes. By cutting out or cutting back on processed meats, you're giving your heart, your brain, and your entire body a chance to thrive. It's not about restriction, it's about liberation. Freedom from fatigue. Freedom from chronic pain. Freedom from the silent damage that too many seniors accept as normal aging. And that freedom begins with awareness, and one smart swap at a time. Food number 2, white bread and refined carbohydrates. Examples: white toast, bagels, crackers, pasta, sugary cereals. Let's talk about a food that feels safe, harmless, even comforting. It's on most breakfast tables. It's in sandwiches, snacks, and even in meals we've been told are light or easy to digest. But for people over 60, it may be one of the biggest silent threats to long-term health. We're talking about white bread and refined carbohydrates. At first glance, white bread looks like the perfect companion to a simple meal. Soft, quick to toast, and easy to chew. But underneath that fluffy texture lies a problem that affects blood sugar, energy, weight gain, and even brain health, especially as we age. Let's break it down. What are refined carbs? Refined carbohydrates are grains that have been highly processed, stripped of their natural fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left behind is mostly starch, a fast-digesting form of sugar that floods your bloodstream almost immediately. Think of white bread, white rice, regular pasta, most store-bought pastries, and sweet breakfast cereals. They may not taste overly sweet, but once digested, they behave just like sugar in your body. And for people over 60, that's a major problem. Blood sugar spikes and energy crashes. As we age, our ability to regulate blood sugar naturally declines. Our cells become less responsive to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. Eating refined carbs causes rapid spikes in blood sugar, followed by sharp crashes that leave you feeling tired, irritable, foggy-headed, craving even more sugar. It becomes a cycle that's hard to escape. These blood sugar roller coasters also increase the risk of type 2 diabetes, a condition already common in older adults. And for those already diagnosed, eating refined carbs only makes managing the disease more difficult. Low in fiber equals bad for digestion. Fiber is essential, especially after 60. It keeps digestion smooth, helps regulate cholesterol, and supports gut health. But white bread and refined carbs contain almost no fiber. That means they do little to help your body process waste, leaving you more prone to constipation, bloating, and sluggish digestion, issues that already become more common with age. And because these foods don't fill you up, you're likely to eat more, feel unsatisfied, and still reach for snacks shortly after. Impact on brain health and memory. Did you know that high blood sugar levels are linked to memory loss and cognitive decline? Refined carbs have been shown in studies to impair brain function over time. They can reduce blood flow to the brain and trigger inflammation that affects how we think, remember, and stay mentally sharp. For seniors, this can quietly erode quality of life, causing forgetfulness, poor concentration, and even contributing to the early stages of dementia. Weight gain and belly fat. After age 60, it becomes easier to gain weight, especially around the midsection. Refined carbs are a big reason why. Because they digest so quickly, they cause a surge in insulin, a hormone that tells your body to store fat, particularly in the belly area. Over time, this can lead to increased fat around vital organs, known as visceral fat, which is strongly linked to heart disease, stroke, and insulin resistance. What to eat instead? You don't need to give up all carbs. But the type of carb you eat makes all the difference. Swap refined carbs for whole, fiber-rich alternatives. Instead of white bread, whole grain or sprouted grain bread. Instead of regular pasta, whole wheat, lentil, or chickpea pasta. Instead of white rice, brown rice, quinoa, or wild rice. Instead of sugary cereals, steel-cut oats or unsweetened granola. Instead of white crackers, seed crackers, or whole grain crisp breads. Whole foods like sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, and even fruits are excellent sources of healthy carbohydrates that release energy slowly and keep you full longer. These alternatives support stable blood sugar, better digestion, longer-lasting energy, and mental clarity. Final thought on refined carbs. For many people over 60, white bread and refined carbs feel like the easiest food to digest. But in reality, they are empty calories that offer little nutrition and a lot of hidden damage. You might not feel the effects right away, but over weeks, months, and years, these foods can quietly undermine your health. By making small swaps today, you protect your energy, memory, and independence tomorrow. So the next time you reach for that bagel or that bowl of cereal, ask yourself, is this food feeding my body or just filling my stomach? Food number 3, sugary drinks. Examples: soda, sweetened iced tea, fruit juices, energy drinks, flavored coffee beverages. Now let's talk about something many people sip on without thinking twice: sugary drinks. That refreshing soda at lunch. That sweetened iced tea on a hot afternoon. That seemingly healthy fruit juice with breakfast. These drinks are everywhere, and for decades, they've been marketed as fun, energizing, or even good for you. But the truth is, for people over 60, sugary drinks are among the most dangerous things you can consume on a regular basis. Because after 60, your body simply doesn't tolerate sugar the way it used to. In fact, these sweet beverages can speed up aging, impair brain function, and sabotage your health in ways that are often invisible until it's too late. Let's look at why. Hidden sugar bombs. A single can of soda contains around 10 teaspoons of sugar, sometimes more. Fruit juices and bottled teas can contain just as much sugar, even when they're labeled as natural or organic. When you drink that sugar, it floods your bloodstream all at once. Your pancreas has to pump out insulin to bring your blood sugar back down. Do this over and over, and your body starts to resist insulin, leading to type 2 diabetes or worsening an existing condition. But blood sugar spikes don't just affect your glucose levels. They also affect your mood, energy, weight, and even your brain. Brain fog and memory decline. Research has shown that consuming sugary drinks is associated with reduced brain volume, especially in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory. In fact, a long-term study published in Alzheimer's and Dementia found that people who regularly consumed sugary beverages were more likely to experience faster cognitive decline and even show early signs of Alzheimer's disease. But because high sugar intake triggers inflammation in the brain, damages blood vessels, and reduces your brain's ability to generate new neurons. Over time, this leads to forgetfulness, confusion, and difficulty concentrating. For older adults, this impact is even more severe. Heart and liver trouble. Drinking sugary beverages daily has also been linked to a higher risk of heart disease due to their effect on blood pressure, triglycerides, and belly fat. And let's not forget your liver. When you drink high fructose drinks like soda and juice, your liver has to process it all, and over time, that can lead to fatty liver disease, which is increasingly common in people over 60 who consume sugary drinks. Unlike alcoholic liver disease, fatty liver disease can go unnoticed for years, quietly damaging one of the most vital organs in your body. They dehydrate you. Here's the irony. Many people drink sweetened beverages thinking they're staying hydrated, but sugary drinks actually dehydrate the body. Caffeine and high sugar levels act as diuretics, meaning they pull water out of your cells, making you more likely to feel tired, dizzy, or confused, especially during warmer months. And after 60, your body's natural thirst response is weaker, making dehydration even more dangerous. They don't fill you up, but they add calories. One of the most deceptive things about sugary drinks is that they're empty calories. They don't curb your hunger. You drink them, and then you eat the same amount of food as you would have without them. But now you've added hundreds of calories that your body stores as fat. Over time, this contributes to unwanted weight gain, especially around the waist, which raises the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. What to drink instead? You don't have to give up flavor or enjoyment. Here are healthier alternatives that support your body rather than stress it. Water with lemon, cucumber, or berries. Unsweetened herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos. Iced green tea, homemade, with no added sugar. For diluted 100% fruit juice, use a splash of juice in water for flavor. Coconut water, unsweetened, in moderation. Black coffee or coffee with a splash of plant-based milk, no syrups or sugar. These drinks hydrate your body, support healthy circulation, and don't cause dangerous blood sugar swings or inflammation. Final thought on sugary drinks. They go down easy. They taste great. And that's exactly what makes them so risky. Because the damage sugary drinks do is slow, silent, and cumulative. You might not feel any different after one sweetened tea or fruit juice. But drink them regularly, and the effects start adding up. More fatigue, more brain fog, more belly fat, more health complications. The good news? It's never too late to swap these drinks out. Your body begins to respond within days of cutting back. Your blood sugar stabilizes. Your energy improves. Your skin looks better. And your brain starts functioning more clearly. So the next time you reach for that soda or sweet tea, ask yourself, is this helping my body, or just making life harder without me noticing? Food number 4, margarine and artificial trans fats. Examples: margarine sticks or tubs, non-dairy creamers, packaged baked goods, microwave popcorn, some fried fast food. When it comes to fats, there's been a lot of confusion over the years. For decades, many people were told to ditch butter in favor of something healthier, margarine. With labels like heart healthy, cholesterol-free, and low in saturated fat, margarine quickly became a household staple, especially for those trying to eat lighter or avoid heart problems. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For people over 60, margarine and other sources of artificial trans fats can be far more dangerous than the butter it was meant to replace. In fact, studies now show that trans fats are among the worst substances you can put in your body, especially as you age. Let's dive into why this once popular health food has become a quiet health destroyer. What are trans fats, and why are they so dangerous? Trans fats are a type of man-made fat created by adding hydrogen to vegetable oils. This process, called hydrogenation, turns liquid oil into a solid at room temperature. Why do food companies use them? Because trans fats extend shelf life, improve texture, and make processed foods taste richer and creamier. But while they may be good for profits, they are devastating for your health. Trans fats raise your bad cholesterol (LDL), lower your good cholesterol (HDL), and trigger widespread inflammation, the root cause of most chronic diseases. Clogs arteries and raises heart disease risk. For people over 60, heart disease is the #1 health concern. And artificial trans fats are directly linked to plaque buildup in arteries, increased blood pressure, and heart attacks. Even small amounts of trans fats can significantly increase your risk of cardiovascular problems. That tub of margarine you spread on your morning toast? That one donut from the bakery? It might seem innocent, but if it contains partially hydrogenated oils, it's silently damaging your heart. Many countries, including the US and Canada, have placed strict limits on trans fats. But here's the catch. Some products still contain them, especially imported foods, fast food, and baked goods made with older recipes. Impairs brain health and mood. Trans fats don't just harm the heart, they also affect the brain. These artificial fats can interfere with cell membrane function in the brain, reduce blood flow, and promote oxidative stress. The result? Increased risk of cognitive decline, memory issues, and even depression in older adults. A study published in Neurology found that people with higher levels of trans fats in their blood were more likely to develop dementia over time. The brain is mostly made of fat, and the kind of fat you eat matters. If you feed it toxic, artificial fats, you're impairing its ability to repair itself, send signals, and protect against age-related decline. Triggers chronic inflammation and joint pain. Trans fats are also known to fuel inflammation in the body, especially in joints, muscles, and tissues. If you suffer from arthritis, joint stiffness, or unexplained body pain, trans fats might be quietly making it worse. They can activate inflammatory pathways that worsen swelling, stiffness, and long-term tissue damage. This inflammation also plays a role in autoimmune diseases, metabolic disorders, and age-related fatigue. Where are trans fats hiding today? Even though many brands remove trans fats after public pressure and government regulation, they still show up in certain types of margarine and butter substitutes, non-dairy creamers, powdered and liquid, packaged baked goods, cookies, crackers, cakes, and pies, microwave popcorn, frozen pizza, fried fast food items, fries, nuggets, etc. Some coffee creamers and frostings. Look out for the ingredient partially hydrogenated oil on the label. If it's listed, even in small amounts, it contains trans fats. What to eat instead? Healthy fats are essential for people over 60. Instead of margarine and trans fat-loaded snacks, try these. Avocados, full of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. Extra virgin olive oil supports brain and heart health. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, rich in omega-3s. Nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia. Real butter, in moderation. Natural and far less processed than margarine. Nut butters such as almond or peanut butter with no added hydrogenated oils. These fats nourish your body, reduce inflammation, and support everything from skin and hormone health to memory and mobility. Final thought on margarine and trans fats. For years, margarine was advertised as the safe alternative. But science has caught up, and now we know better. At 60 and beyond, your body needs real, nourishing fats, not chemically engineered ones. Swapping out trans fats may feel like a small decision, but it's one that supports a healthier heart, a clearer mind, and a more energetic body. So the next time you reach for that buttery spread or snack cake, take a second to check the label. It might be the most important decision you make that day. Food number 5. Low-fat flavored yogurts and artificial sweeteners. Examples: fruit-flavored low-fat yogurts, light yogurt drinks, diet sodas, sugar-free gum, and tabletop sweeteners. For many people over 60 trying to eat healthier or lose weight, low-fat flavored yogurts seem like a smart choice. They're marketed as creamy, tasty, and packed with probiotics that support digestion. But there's a hidden downside lurking inside these colorful containers, and it's connected to the artificial sweeteners added to replace sugar. While sugar-free sounds great on paper, the truth is that artificial sweeteners and low-fat flavored yogurts can actually cause more harm than good, especially as we get older. Let's find out how. The sweet deception. Removing fat often means manufacturers add more sugar or artificial sweeteners to make up for the lost flavor. That means many low-fat yogurts are loaded with sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, acesulfame potassium, ACE-K. These artificial compounds trick your taste buds, but they confuse your metabolism and gut bacteria. Disrupts gut health and digestion. Our gut is home to trillions of bacteria that help digest food, regulate the immune system, and even influence mood. Studies show that artificial sweeteners can disrupt the balance of gut bacteria, killing off beneficial strains and allowing harmful bacteria to flourish. This imbalance, called dysbiosis, can cause bloating, constipation or diarrhea, increased inflammation in the digestive tract. For people over 60 whose digestive systems naturally slow down, this can lead to chronic discomfort and nutrient absorption problems. May increase sugar cravings and weight gain. Artificial sweeteners also confuse your brain's response to sweetness. Because your body expects calories when tasting sweetness but gets none, it can cause increased cravings for sugary or high-carb foods. This paradox can make weight loss harder and lead to overeating, the opposite of what people want when they choose diet or low-fat products. Possible impact on cognitive health. There is emerging research suggesting that some artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame, might negatively impact memory, mood, and brain function in sensitive individuals. Although more studies are needed, older adults should be cautious about consuming large amounts of these chemicals regularly. Better yogurt choices. Instead of low-fat flavored yogurts loaded with artificial sweeteners, opt for plain, full-fat Greek yogurt, natural probiotics without added sugars. Add fresh fruit, nuts, or a drizzle of raw honey for natural sweetness. Try unsweetened dairy-free yogurts like coconut or almond yogurt. Check labels for additives. Consider fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi for gut health. These options support your digestion, keep blood sugar stable, and nourish your body without artificial chemicals. Final thought on low-fat flavored yogurts and artificial sweeteners. Trying to cut calories is smart, but not if it means sacrificing gut health, inviting sugar cravings, or exposing yourself to questionable chemicals. For people over 60, real food is always better than processed diet versions. Your gut, brain, and waistline will thank you. That wraps up our countdown of the 5 worst foods for people over 60. Remember, avoiding these foods doesn't mean giving up pleasure. It means choosing foods that fuel your body, protect your health, and support your independence for years to come. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss upcoming videos on simple habits to stay strong, sharp, and energized after 60.